This massacre.
First things first, well, chalk your wheel. Put your car in neutral. Make sure the e-brake's off. Make sure you drove up on the lift straight. And then you do this. Lock your steering wheel. So when you're adjusting your tie rods, your wheel doesn't turn. And it's straight when you're done aligning your toe. So we'll get it up in the air, get it to the level spot, and then we'll do the whole procedure from the computer.
You having fun?
Waiting on you.
Ooh, I'm already recording.
Okay, so first things first. I don't know what I just clicked. We're gonna click Nissan 350Z 2006 to 2009. Not that I really care what the factory specs are, but you have to select a model. So chalk the wheels. We already did that. Make sure the wheel's straight. We already did that. And then now I need to mount the sensors. So these are all front, rear, rear. Let me get that time lapse on.
Got Kyle in the background singing. I don't know what he's singing, to be honest. He's just saying voices in my head.
He's just excited for his wheel setup. We're trying to calculate Kyle's wheel fitment on his 300ZX, but it's impossible to find any information on him or find a wheel that's small enough with as low of an offset as his, but we're trying. I'm just gonna put on a quick little time lapse because no one really wants to watch this, and a lot of people probably won't be doing their alignment with an alignment machine. The way to align your car is gonna be the same for anyone. It just depends on what you use to measure it. So some people go to the track and they have like the little, basically the same exact thing, but they'll measure it with a measuring tape. So we'll just kind of go over how I do my alignment on my car so other people can try it out and then go from there if you're just starting off drifting or whatever. It's be a basic alignment. Try not to scratch your rim. You're blocking the target.
Whoops.
See the little lasers? They're talking to that.
And I was just
Okay, so now that we have the wheel straightened and everything, sensors are mounted. Next step, you take the chocks off the wheel, you roll it forward, or roll it backwards, and then you roll it back forward. It'll tell you how far to roll the wheel. So this is the front of the car, because you know, you steer from the front.
So what does that mean?
Now I gotta roll the car back. Alright, look at the screen to figure out what the next step is. Okay, so now lock your wheels again. I already blocked them. And then we'll go to this side since it's got better lighting. I just pull the pins. This will allow your wheel to turn when you're adjusting the toe. So this plate's like kind of floating on top of here. And then you do the same thing to the rear, also to allow your wheel to move.
And then we order something to eat to feed our bellies and nourish our bodies. So what's on the menu, Greg?
How are these both so tight? Okay.
Do that.
Block the wheels again. Pulled all the plates out. And now, these are my alignment specs.
Golly.
I did just change my coilovers, so that's why a lot of this is way off. My camber in the rear is not too bad, but my toe is off. I also replaced my spring buckets with spring bucket delete arms from Godspeed. So I converted to a true coilover setup so I could get the right amount of toe and camber out of the rear, because I would like to run 0 degrees of camber in the rear so I can get even tire wear, because in the end that's going to save me a lot of money on tires rather than burning through it with like a lot of negative camber. So toe in the rear, a lot of people prefer toe in, I'm pretty sure, and then slight toe out in the front. I don't know, I might run very slight toe in. I'm going to do a little bit more research right now before I do it, but I'm have to drive it to the event, which is 3.5 hours away, and drive it back. So I don't want to ruin my tires just driving there and back. Since I still drive it on the street, I'd like to have as little toe as possible. And I'm not gonna do anything with my caster because I've adjusted it 80 times and I absolutely despise doing it. with the PBM arms. So we're gonna start off with the toe, and I'm not gonna adjust the front camber. So we're gonna start off with the front, we're gonna do the toe, get that straightened out, and then we'll move on to the rear. So then this will show me my toe on the front. So when I'm underneath of there, I can just reference this. And you basically just want adjustable wrenches, probably 2. For my car, like a 21. I think for the tie rods, 17, 19. Maybe you would want 2 19s and 2 17s, because I'm also gonna do a bolt check while I'm under, just make sure all my arms are tight and everything before driving to the event. All right, so basically you're just gonna break the lock nuts free. Got one on the inside, one on the outside. Now you're gonna see which way it's turning. Closer to 0. Okay, wiring's in.
Coming through.
So I can stay right there until I do the other side, because it's gonna adjust a little bit when I do the other side.
So the numbers that they're saying right now is what?
Toe out 1 degree on the driver's side, and toe in 0.1 degrees on the passenger side.
And what are you trying? You just type it. You putting any toe in at all? Or you don't have just 0 toe?
I might do very slight toe out.
So like 0.2.
Maybe. All right, I'm good with that. I literally just tapped the wheel and it changed from 0.9 to 0.8. All right, so we got slight toe out in the front. Not adjusting camber because I have to pull off my upper control arms to do that. But it's close, like around 4.5 each.
We live, baby. Go ahead, take over, Greg.
A nice Budweiser. So we're gonna start off adjusting the camber on the rear. Where can I set this where you can see it? Okay, well you can see right now.
I can't see anything. You gotta bring it to the.
All right, so the right camber is at 2.5 degrees. So I'm gonna try to zero that out. I'm gonna start off with the camber arm. And then from there, I'll adjust the toe through this new spring bucket delete arm. This usually has the cup right here that holds your spring, and your spring will mount up here. But since we switched to a true coilover in the rear, we don't have that spring anymore, so we have a lot more adjustment in the suspension, and that's the main reason for changing from the spring bucket to the true coilover.
Axle leak.
Oh, dude, I mean, that's...
I just seen the camera, it was a little distracting.
Yeah, so we're gonna start off with the camber, and then we'll move to toe, and then probably move back to camber, and then probably move back to toe. Dude, this thing's gonna be all the way down. All right, so now I'm at 0 camber in the right rear. So now I'll switch it over to toe, and I'm at negative 1.27. So I'm a good bit off on toe. I want to be slightly toed in, but nothing crazy since I'm still driving it on the street to the track. So I haven't yet adjusted this arm, so I'll see how much I can get out of it. And if I need to get the front traction rods, which I really hope I don't. So now that when I'm done adjusting my toe, my camber will probably end up being off again. All right, so right now I'm at negative 0.06. All right, so now I'm gonna go back to camber, and we're at 0.1. Positive camber. I'm probably gonna lock it down right there. For the rear toe is 0.7. Rear camber is 0.1. Well, okay, rear camber is 0.1 positive, and the rear toe is 0.7 or 0.07 negative. So I'm gonna go ahead and just lock these down. I might have to come back and adjust them once I do the other side, because it might just move the whole suspension around. But move to the other side now, measure this side again, and then we'll go from there. Man, my foot is falling asleep bad. So, my rear camber on the left is -2. So we'll adjust that first, same as the other side. Do the toe after. Try not to bang my head on everything. I don't know if you can even see that, but he's gonna waste so much memory on his camera with me manning it, because I'm just gonna keep doing my alignment. So we're about halfway there to 0. I might just leave like 0.1 positive camber. I don't know if I want to do the full 0.5 because it's gonna be so far off of the events that the specs that I was running on my last event. My car doesn't have that much power, so it's not like it's gonna squat that much. And that is Drift Matsuri, or Summer Matsuri at Shenandoah Circuit in Shenandoah, Virginia, this Saturday. So you're gonna be watching this on Thursday. We'll be there if you guys wanna come out and say hi or help us work on the car, if it needs anything, which it might. I might crash. Now, I don't know if you can even see this, but since adjusting my left camber, my right camber was at 0.1 and now it's at 0.3 and my left camber is still at -2. So that's what I was saying. We'll probably have to go back to the other side, adjust the camber again, then probably adjust the toe again. It kind of sucks because it takes forever, but it's also fun being able to get the specs that you want, like out of like your new setup. Because before I could never run less than 2 degrees of camber without having my toe completely off. All right, so now we're at 0 degrees left rear camber, and I'm gonna probably turn the camera off now. Oh, no, I gotta do my toe. So now my toe's at positive 1.4. Dude, who else just puts down all their tools and forgets where they put them? I assume a lot of people. My left rear toe is at 0.1, or 0.0, and my right is at -0.1.
There's not that much cinematic stuff going on today, but we ran into some slight issues.
Well, we might have run into slight issues. We don't even know yet. But so I set the rear. For some reason, the machine keeps reading different amounts, but it was literally at 0.1 positive camber. It was just at 0.1. And it was like around -3 toe. The front, you saw me adjust the toe. Someone may or may not have bumped the sensor. That might be what's throwing it off, because they are both like almost evenly turned
My
to
bad.
the left.
That was probably me.
I mean, that won't be a problem. Like, I'll just adjust the toe, and I'm assuming the rear will probably be where it's supposed to be. So I'll redo the toe probably tomorrow, like on my lunch break. But other than that, everything is exactly where I want it. So very slight toe in the rear, slight toe out in the front, 0 degrees camber in the rear. The 0 degrees camber, the only thing that you're concerned about really is grip. A lot of people run negative camber in the rear because they don't have enough power, but you could also just raise or lower your tire pressure. The higher tire pressure, the less grip. Lower tire pressure, more grip. So less camber, more tire pressure. If you're keeping the same power and you want the same amount of slip.
So the numbers you're going for up front is just zeroed out and then just keeping the same camber rating?
Well, the toe, a lot of people like to run toe out, slight toe out, maybe like 1/4 degree, like 0.25 out, and then almost the same with the toe, but I'm not gonna go that much, even though that's not that much, just because I'm used to driving on it with almost 0 toe front, almost 0 toe rear. So I'm gonna probably just put it back on the lift and redo the toe, which you already saw, and then we'll see how I like it. And then I'll adjust from there if I ever have anything weird going on with the car. But I think before I have problems with my alignment, I think the next thing that I need to do is probably rear subframe bushing. All right, so I definitely need to adjust my front toe again. I don't know what happened with it. Like, my wheel was straight when I was done and it zeroed out, but for whatever reason, when I was done doing the rear, it was toe out on the left, toe in on the right, almost equal degrees. So I don't know exactly what happened, but I've never had that problem before. The rear, I am pretty certain is straight. The front, I don't know what's going on with the alignment rack. I know that there's a problem because the door was open and it was blowing on the sensors and it was making them like move around a lot, which I didn't really realize until I was already done the rear, and then the front did whatever it did. toe in, rear, toe out, front, 0 degrees camber, rear, 5 degrees camber, front, is what I ended up with.
And going to where?
Shenandoah Circuit, Shenandoah, Virginia.
Sorry.
Oh, wait, that's the 25th, right?
I don't know. Hold up.
August 25th. It starts at 10 a.m., ends at 10 p.m.
Come meet us. Say what's up. This camera's getting heavy, so.
Like, comment, and subscribe. Sir, are you using fully synthetic?
5W30.
Yeah.